Hey, welcome back to my studio. My name's Rebekah Victoria. I'm a professional fine artist and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Today I'm making another episode of my intersection between artist and mother series. What I want to talk today about is I felt when I was starting to go through early motherhood with my first baby, which is my daughter. She is 5 years old now, so it was 5 years ago. And I had this squishy little newborn, and I found that my creativity really was suffering. I was sleep deprived a lot, obviously like every new mother, and I was really just so mentally consumed with keeping this baby alive, keeping this baby fed, happy and well. And I think my body was too when I was feeding her, and everything that I had really went to her. And I felt like my creativity had left the building, and it was a really hard thought for me. So as time went on, I slowly emerged from the newborn bubble, and my daughter got bigger and things started to change. I wasn't as exhausted all of the time. I think I started to catch up on my sleep debt a little bit, and I found that my creativity, while I thought it had left, was actually still there and thriving. It had just almost gone dormant for a bit. It's like it went into hibernation while I was in, I guess, survival mode, and it was just waiting there for me to come and open the door and let it out again. I found that I needed to really be intentional about how I showed up for myself, and my art was a big part of that. I needed to remember that I was still a human as well as a mother, remember who I was before, and really allow myself to do both at once. And it was really hard at first, but then I realized I only had to show up for a small amount of time. I've used this analogy in the past where I have a pitcher of water and I have all these cups for the day, and each day I get one full pitcher and I'm able to pour into each cup, and by the end of the day it may be empty, but my goal is to have a little bit left so that I have just a little bit of extra energy for the next day. But even if I could pour one little drop into my cup, that was enough for me at that point in time, just to kind of keep the creativity there, keep like a little blow on the fire, just to keep it burning and keep it going. And I really had to honor this season of my life. There are seasons in art just as much in life. I've spoken about this in another video that I will link below about the seasons of life and creativity and motherhood, but I think that this creative cycle is a really important chat, and I think it's really important to acknowledge that and just be kind to yourself that even through tougher seasons, your creativity will still be there, whether it feels like it is or not. It'll just be waiting for you to be ready to come back and greet it at the door. And your identity as an artist really is not erased, and it really is not based on your amount of output as an artist. Just because you may not be making art, it doesn't mean that you're not an artist. It just means that you have other things you really need to focus on that point in time, and you can come back to it at any point and it'll be there for you, ready to greet you and be kind to you and open the door and let itself in and just really thrive with you giving it a tiny bit of intention. And one day you will have more time in your day and you will look back and you will think, I'm glad I was able to prioritize even just a little bit of art for myself and just keep that creative candle burning. And one day these margins, these small parts of your day will widen and you will slowly have more and more time, and day by day you won't even realize how much art you're able to get done, and that's a beautiful thing. But even now you're an artist, whether you're creating or not. Even though you might be in the depths of motherhood, motherhood is continually changing, so Don't be hard on yourself if you can't prioritize your art right now. It will come back to you when the time is right, when you are ready, and it will be there waiting. I want you to remember that your creativity will meet you where you're at, whether it's a stolen 5 minutes here or there when your kids are immersed in an activity, or maybe it's just years down the road you find yourself coming back to art and finding a space for it again. It will be waiting for you wherever you are, and it'll meet you there. There are some tiny acts of creativity that you can do in the meantime that could work towards you adding a little bit more of your water into your creativity cup each day. You could start just doodling in the 2 spare minutes you have while you're sitting in the car in the carpool line. You could grab a scrap piece of paper and just do something small. You could just start taking some photos of things and start trying to use an artistic eye in a different way or a different medium. If you are a painter, you could start trying to take photos of things, or you could start writing poems. You could use your creativity in different ways. You could channel it into cooking and start really trying to cook these different things, or you could take up something that is more portable like knitting, and maybe you knit while you're waiting in the carpool line, or you knit when you're at gymnastics and you're waiting for it to end, or watching soccer practice, or you take your sketchbook to these things and you are able to just steal a couple minutes even while they're warming up at soccer and just do a quick little sketch. Finding these tiny little pockets of times were a game changer for me, and they really made my experience of motherhood brighter, because I felt like I was giving myself a little bit more in the meantime. And then I felt like I was more attentive to my kids because I was happier, because I was able to give myself that and generate that creativity and just feel inspired and excited about things. And I love that you are then also modeling creativity to your kids. You're showing them by you showing up for yourselves in these little moments, you're showing them how important it is to do so, and how important creativity is for your life, and how important it is to keep the creative spark alive outside of school and past education, because I really think that our society is really focused on output over creativity, and sometimes, actually all the time, it is kind of stifling us by pushing us to not use our creativity in a way that we should, and we're focused too much on the end result. And anyway, this is a bit of a different chat about society, but whatever. Just using those micro moments of the day were really beneficial. Just being really unapologetic and being really flexible and open to your creativity and being imperfect, and remembering that rest and reflection are also part of the cycle, and it is okay if you don't feel like showing up that day and you just want to sit in your car and close your eyes for a moment. That rest is just as important as your art, and you need to honor how your body is feeling as well. And the other thing I want to point out is that you should really avoid comparison with other artists, because as they say, comparison is the thief of joy. You will always be able to find someone that is more ahead than you, or doing better than you, or you like their artwork more than your own, or their little 5-minute sketches look better than yours. But that is so unproductive, and it's not going to encourage you to have the really good endorphins that come from creativity. Comparison is really gonna be the thing that would let you down, because you would stop creating in the margins. And the last little thing that I want to say too is even just noticing things and being present is an act of creativity. Going on a walk and unplugging from everything, not wearing headphones, not listening to a podcast or music, and just unplugging and being out in nature, watching how the wind makes the reeds flow or the grass flow, and really being present, that is an artful thing too, and that is part of your creativity as well. And I encourage you to show up and be in the moment, because I found that really beneficial. Anyway, I'm going to leave you here. that is what I have for you today. I hope that you found some value in it, and if you did, I would love it if you could share it with another artist that you think it might benefit. Or I would also love it if you would subscribe and follow along so that you are aware when I have new videos coming out. I hope you have a little bit of time in your day to just do something small, creative, and just do something for yourself. I am sending you so much love. Bye.